People who have met their online friends, what made you instantly regret it? I was 13 and had a 20-year-old pen pal in Hong Kong, both of us female. We met on Tumblr and emailed each other regularly. My parents were ceased in all our correspondence, and we basically just talked about our cultures. About a year of us talking went by, and she said that her university allowed her to study abroad in Europe for a semester and she chose my country. Fun. I was excited. However, some time went by and our friendship kind of faded, to the point where I had forgotten she was even coming to my country. About 2 weeks before she was supposed to come, she emailed me that her student accommodation had to be cleaned out, so she couldn't access it on the night that she arrived. She needed a place to stay for one night. I asked my ma'am and she agreed to pick her up from the airport with me, and she could stay with us for one night. I mean, we trusted this girl. I was very open about my friendship with her, we had pictures and everything. So 2 weeks later, we pick her up from the airport. And we didn't click. She kinda annoyed me, but it was late and so we just went home. We get home and get her settled. We went up to my room, she gave me some presents and we chat a little bit. She says thanks for letting me stay here this semester. Huh? Excuse me? This semester? I asked her, like, what do you mean? You can stay here tonight. We can see each other during the weekends if you want to hang out, but you can't stay here. She goes quiet. We go to sleep. At this point I just wanted her to go away. And I got what I wanted. The next morning I wake up, and she's gone. I don't even know how she got out, because we locked the doors at night, but she just vanished. Her suitcase was still there. I tried calling her, she didn't pick up. She eventually texted me, asking if my mother could drop off her suitcase at a train station 40 minutes away at a certain time. My mother brought the suitcase, and that was that. Never seen her or spoken to her again after that. I actually worked with this lady at the time. She was good looking and very flirtatious. Most importantly, we both played World of Warcraft. At its prime. She ended up inviting me to join her server, and being a then horny 20-something, I, of course, joined up. We played for a time and had a good PvP group going, her regulars. Of course she was still flirty with me in game and I was back. All in group chat. Either way, we had some great times together slaying players in PvP. Summer comes and it's a company barbecue. I find out she is bringing one of our PvP partners to the event. Cool. It was her husband. A cop. I've been virtually blanking her in game in front of him for 3 months. Wow. It was my friend who befriended this girl, and she allowed us to come and stay with her when we traveled to the US. She was rude to me instantly and kept my friend away from me. I'd go upstairs and she'd find a reason for them to go downstairs. She had my friend share her bedroom and she'd lock the door for hours, and so I'd just go off and do my own thing. We met her two odd friends and they both ignored me. When it was time for my friend and I to move on to another state, she insisted on coming with us. The lady we stayed with in another state took no shit and called this girl out on her strange behavior. She proceeded to lock herself in a room and demanded my friend stay in there with her. They were in there all day and eventually my friend came out and said to me that there's something wrong with this girl and she's actually scared. We had plans to stay with another online friend in another state and this girl demanded we cancel because she doesn't like or trust this other friend. We said no, this is our holiday and we've paid for flights, and she said then she will come with us but we can't meet up this other friend. We said no, she cried, we left. My friend blocked her on everything. My friend's mother called us not long after saying this girl contacted her crying, saying my friend is in danger and we abandoned her, and she's so concerned for my friend's safety. It was actually incredibly scary. My friend found out later from another girl. They all knew each other from a forum. That this girl had been telling everyone they were in love and had even slept together. I don't know how much of that is true, but I've known my friend for 20 years now and she's never identified as anything but straight. She denied it 100%. This girl was just obsessed with her, and months later my friend heard this girl was telling everyone she was saving money to come to our country to find my friend. She never did, thankfully. Other than the time spent with this girl, we had a great holiday and made some good friends. Met her after gaming with her for like 1,5 years. My parents allowed me to have her visit me for a weekend. Unbelievably beautiful girl, had a lot of deep talks on the phone, were frequently flirting quite hard and stuff. She kind of was my first love interest. We went out for a drink with a few friends of mine. Started hitting on my best friend the second she saw him. Didn't even pay attention to me the whole evening, and the first thing she said the next morning was, "Let's go to his place." That fucking hurt. The lady was crazy. We met through an app that was advertised as a meet friends app and not a dating app. Well, turns out, it was a dating app. However, she put in her bio that she was married with 2 kids. I put that I was in a long-term relationship and looking for friends. BTW, I'm a guy. She wasn't. So when we arranged a meet-up, her husband and 2 kids were there as well as my girlfriend. Everything was going great. Hung out a few times and added each other on Facebook. Turns out, she was super into the whole breastfeeding in public thing. Like, I get it. You go girl. But she was super obsessed with it. 4 out of every 5 pics she posted to Facebook was her boob in her kid's mouth. She got angry when you looked away when in public. Like, she wanted you to stare at her while she breastfed. Just got to the point that I was super uncomfortable with it and moved on. I met a girl in person once, but life got in the way of meeting again for quite a while. We flirted a ton online and via text. The flirtatious content was at a peak and we were talking about all the things we were going to do to each other when we saw each other again. Finally, our night had arrived. She wanted to meet at this lame bro bar, but whatever. I figured we'd get a hotel room quickly. I dressed nice, drove out there, and could not find her anywhere. I loop out on the back deck a few times when I finally stopped out there to call her. And it turns out, she was back there the whole time. I had completely looked past her a few times already. She's dressed in like dirty scrubs. She's not a nurse, so WTF? And is practically connected at the hip to some other dude. The body language says it's mutual. As she turns around, she still has her hips thrust into him. "Oh, hey. There you are. Good to see you. Hey. This is my coworker, Josh." He took one hand off her hips to try to shake my hand. Hey. It was a long day at work today. We're really tired, so we're gonna go home. So, what the heck should I do? Drink, I guess. It was so good to see you. I watched them walk around the corner and then I took a different exit. The next day, she texted and said I looked really good last night. Had I known that was her back there the whole time grinding up on some other dude, I would have Grandpa Simpsoned, too. When I was 19 I jumped on a flight to meet a friend I had known for about 4 to 5 months. We both went through family bereavements and were a shoulder to cry on for each other, via the phone or internet, and we just decided to meet for a few days in a country between us. Until then everything had been perfect. She was the coolest girl, really smart, the kind of person you want to be around all the time. When we met things started great, but a day later she confessed, "You're not what I expected." What? 19-year-old and not very confident. This knocked me sideways. I don't know, just. You seem different. I never hid who I was before we met, was completely open, and it put a real sour taste on the rest of my time with her. Instead of chatting non-stop and watching Jackass on TV in the hotel at night, we went quiet and straight to sleep, ate in silence. I put as much effort as I could into it, but I still never got to the bottom of how I was different. We went our separate ways, text for a few days, then never spoke again. When I was 14 I had an online friend 2 states away who was 14. He and his mom took a trip to see me, and the first thing we did when we saw each other was run full speed at one another. Our heads bounced off each other and I chipped my tooth and broke his braces. I'm pretty sure his front tooth was also loose and had to go to the dentist to fix it. Lol. I was nervous as hell. I had only text chatted with them over League of Legends after I supported them once and we started duoing. We talked a lot through chat and it got pretty deep at times, however we never voice chatted or Skyped. After like a year I transferred schools during my senior year. I mentioned this and my friend told me they actually went to another university about 40 minutes away. We didn't meet up right away, but I eventually told them that I was going to visit their university because I was checking it out for grad school. I suggested we meet and they agreed, and I waited patiently at our meetup location. Suddenly someone walked up as I was browsing my phone and I looked up to see this amazingly beautiful girl. Obviously I was blown away. I had assumed that this person was a guy this whole time and was expecting another geeky dude like me. It turns out that she keeps the fact she's a girl under wrap online cause guys tend to be weird about it or just mean. We've been married for a year now and she still refuses to voice chat with anyone when we play.